Hey, what's going on, guys? TalkNorwichCity here, back for another week of the TNC podcast. I hope you're all doing fantastically well. Now, before we get into the podcast, and it is a good one this week, I've just got a public service announcement to make. And as you've probably seen from the intro and also the logo in the top of this screen, we do have a new sponsor. They go by the name of FansBet. Now, FansBet is an online bookmaker and also fantasy football provider. They do championship fantasy football, which is going to be really, really cool for us going forwards. You may remember we've done some stuff with their sister company last year. As well as that, they are a bookmaker, but they're a little different, and I didn't want to drop this out of nowhere. I know that gambling companies sometimes get a bad rep. This isn't, though, to get new people involved in gambling. If you don't like gambling, the videos aren't going to change. There's just going to be a logo at the top of the screen. This is for the people who maybe put on a £5 accumulator here and there, or maybe like fantasy football and want to flutter on that. I've introduced Jay Ryan, who's the operations manager from FansBet, along to talk about what they do and hopefully get you guys on board a little bit. Here's Jay. Okay, so I'm really pleased to welcome Jay from FansBet along to the TNC podcast. Now, as you guys all know, we are now in partnership with FansBet. It's in a really exciting time for TNC and also FansBet as well. Now, you all guys all know about the standard bookmakers. FansBet are a little different. Jay, tell me all about it.
Yeah, definitely. We at FansBet do believe it's about time that fans got something back. And fans who bet with us will keep their money alive for longer. And that's sort of the biggest difference between us and your standard bookmakers. Like any bookmaker, if you place a bet with us, if it's a winning bet, congratulations. Take your money, withdraw it, continue to bet. That's absolutely fine. Where it gets really interesting is if you have a non-winning bet. So if you place a non-winning bet with us at FansBet, 50% of the net profit of that bet will go back to a supporter group that you've assigned yourself to. So in this case, obviously, we're delighted to be in partnership with TalkNorwichCity. So this is for all you Norwich fans out there. Register with us at FansBet. Select Norwich as your club. It then gives you the option to pick a sub-branch. Obviously, we'd like you to select TalkNorwichCity. That then tells us where you'd like your revenue to go. And I know, Jack, you've got some sort of ideas around sort of the revenue coming back to you, what you'd like to see it go towards.
Yeah, definitely. And I think when we sort of started speaking about this deal a few months back now, and you made it clear that this is essentially for the consumer a win-win. If you win your bet, happy days, you take your money and you go. Yeah. If you lose, the money goes back into the club to hopefully help with sort of fan initiatives. And the good thing with this is it's completely transparent. So whatever money comes to me, I will have to show what I'm spending that on. So I think the brilliant thing with this is the viewers can essentially decide where this money goes, whether that's on flags, whether that can be taking some travel to away games down. The fans can essentially pick where their money goes and hopefully will help them out.
And it gives them some control. And like you said, can make them take ownership of where that money goes.
Yeah, and all of the sort of terms and conditions and all of the nitty-gritty parts can be found on your website. What I want to really discuss as well for the TalkNorwichCity viewers is we've got some exciting things lined up, haven't we, in terms of fantasy football, some enhanced bets down the line. Talk me through that.
Yeah, so first of all, we'll start with sort of the fantasy football product. We are going to be launching a TalkNorwichCity Fantasy League, which will be launching on Friday the 30th of March, Good Friday. And it will run for
Easter.
And it will run for 8 games through to the end of the season. And I know you've got a nice little prize lined up for the winner of that league.
Indeed. More of that coming soon. Wait and see.
Surprise.
Indeed.
And then, like Jack said, we are going to be running some special bets for you guys. We're going to be running the TalkNorwichCity Perfect Weekend. Now, that doesn't mean Jack just gets to see Norwich win and then keep warm. What we'll be doing is, so Friday the 30th of March, that game weekend, we'll have Norwich to beat Fulham. That would be nice. Ipswich to lose to Birmingham. I'm sure all your followers would agree with that one. And we'd like to open it up to the TalkNorwichCity audience to come up with a third team to put into that bet of who you'd like to lose, which will really make that weekend a good one for yourselves.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure, as a lot of YouTubers do, they get approached by a lot of companies. What really made this stand out to me is the fact this fantasy football is championship football, isn't it? There's very few options on the internet to be able to play championship football. You can put James Maddison if you want. You can put Angus Gunn in if you want. That's going to already appeal to Norwich fans.
Yeah. absolutely right, Jack. You can go on, you'll be picking a team of the players that you're fortunate enough to watch week in, week out. Like you said, Maddison's been flying at the moment. You know, that's been helped by the fact you've been given some very nice penalty decisions in recent games.
We won't talk about that.
But yeah, so you get to pick a team from Norwich, the Championship, and you can compete against other Talk Norwich City fans for a nice little prize, which Jack will reveal later.
Indeed. So essentially, the good thing for you guys is if you lose your money, it goes back into a good cause. We can decide that throughout the season. It's all transparent. You know your money is going to be going into the right places. And also along the line, you guys can essentially be picking what bets you make. The perfect weekend bets, as Jay talked about there, we can decide different ones throughout the whole of the season. The guys at Fans Bet are very flexible in terms of what you guys want. So, Jay, this is a good opportunity for Norwich fans, if they do want to bet, to make it even better with you guys.
Exactly, and that's what it's about. It's about fans. It's about the experience of fans, whether that's putting on their little £5 accumulator at the weekend, whether they're putting on bets for Maddison to score first, Pinto to pop up with a last-minute equaliser, those sorts of things. But like you said, betting with us gives you the opportunity for your money to stay alive for longer. And also you can see that money going to great causes, and you have some control around what those causes are.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Jay.
Thank you.
So there we go. There was Jay Ryan, the operations manager of Fans Bet, explaining what they do. You'll be seeing a lot more of them throughout the season. We'll be doing enhanced bets. It's going to be very interactive. You guys can pick what bets you want enhanced on their website, and of course fantasy football competitions with loads of prizes. One of the main reasons they got on board with TalkNorwichCity was because of the loyal audience that we've got, and also just how good you guys are. That really stood out. They reached out about 3 months ago, and we've been deciding what kind of deal will work best. The sponsors that we've had this season have been absolutely fantastic, and I really hope to work with them in the long term, and their money has meant that I've been able to pay the likes of Chris and Connor and the graphics people who I have on board, not put loads of intrusive advertising on or go behind the paywall, which a lot of YouTube channels have had to because of the complete slashing of YouTube ad revenue. So that has meant that I've been able to run Talk Norwich City in a sustainable manner, and hopefully be able to go forwards and operate in a manner that is respectable. People shouldn't work for free. I don't like people working for free. No one who produces content for Talk Norwich City will ever work for free. So that's that. But hopefully with a bit more money from Fans Bet, it can mean we can invest in more equipment for the podcast. I really want to up the game on the podcast. We've got some good guests lined up, be able to cover more away games, stuff like that. I'm really excited to have Fans Bet on board. I hope you guys support the journey. Enjoy this week's episode of the podcast.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Talk Norwich City here, back for another week of the TNC podcast. And Chris, we are fast approaching episode number 50. That's nearly a year.
How many episodes until 50, by the way?
This is number 47.
So, in theory, we could have a big one for number 50.
We could. In theory.
We could.
We shall see. And if we don't have a big one for 50, I'm sure we will make it
we
big.
will. We will have a big one for 50.
But will it be on the 50?
We'll have a big one for 50.
Okay, interesting. How are you?
So good.
Have you warmed up?
I'm always so good.
Good.
Genuinely. Have I warmed up? Yeah, but my God, it was cold at the weekend, wasn't it?
Beast from the East 2 was, I think, bigger than Beast from the East 1.
Oh, God. I honestly think you are turning into like a 45-year-old.
Well, it's interesting.
Now you've got a job.
I know, I think it is the office culture. I find myself more and more walking in and going, oh, weather was bad at the weekend, wasn't it? To my colleagues. And I'm thinking, I am turning into my mum.
Yeah.
And like my mum is always like, well, it was windy today. And then now I get home, it's like, gosh, why not windy today? I shouldn't be talking about this. I'm a 20-year-old lad.
No, I don't think you should really.
No, but it was cold.
You should be talking about Leo Vegas.
Leo Vegas and booze and gambling.
Yeah.
More of that. We won.
Great win as well.
Should
a
we
useful
talk about
win. Yeah, let's talk about it.
A useful win, I like that.
Yeah, it was useful.
Is every win useful?
Yeah, but some are more useful than others.
Okay,
I thought at the weekend it was more useful than others.
Yeah.
Because I think that you started to see a wee bit more of the balance.
Yeah.
Or at least the balance opportunity.
Yeah.
The latent potential.
You've been reading too many books, Chris. These words fly out.
There is. There is a lot of latent potential in this Norwich side.
What does that mean?
It means basically everyone's got latent potential.
Okay.
And certain people have more latent potential than others.
But what is latent potential?
I.e., Mario Vrancic has probably more latent potential than others. However, at the weekend, I felt like he fulfilled that. And
so what does the word latent mean?
It's basically like everyone's lazy, and no
Okay.
one likes. Basically, it's a posh word for lazy.
Okay.
Search it.
Lazy.
Definition.
Is this some kind of business term that you like to use on your coffee mornings at networking events?
No comment.
You stink of a coffee morning network
I
event.
love a coffee morning.
You do, don't you?
Yeah,
I bet the word latent potential gets chucked around like nobody's business.
Yeah, absolutely fine.
But
Mario Vrancic.
Yeah, he was good, wasn't he?
And I need to press this home. I said it in my post-match interview with you, Jack. I was really, honestly, dead impressed with Mario. I thought his through balls were genuinely sublime. I disagree with the fact that he's been like it all season, because I don't think he has. I disagree with the fact that, Daniel Farke's played him out of position, because I don't think he has, really. I just think that it wasn't just Mario, actually. I think there was a few players on the pitch that played with so much more freedom and confidence, and you could tell that into that first half it was relaxed almost. It was like, we're just going to play our football, we're going to go at them and make things happen. You saw even, you didn't think Josh played that well. I thought in the first half
he played very well. I said that.
Okay, well, in the first half I thought Josh was very good,
Yeah.
and Hernandez as well.
Hernandez was excellent.
But yeah, I thought, those three, and of course Maddison again as well, I thought the confidence was very evident, and I'm very, very excited for Tommy T to come in, for us to be able to hopefully, fingers crossed, unleash this potential in this side, which is attacking, not defensive.
I mean, you speak there about confidence, and I agree, and it's interesting because one of Daniel Farke, or the criticisms towards Daniel Farke this season has often been, is his man management that great? Does he instill confidence in players? I would say to be able to put a group of players out there who look very high on confidence after, I don't think before Saturday's win, we'd won since early February, so it'd been about 6 weeks without a win. That's a long while in the Championship. Impressive from Daniel Farke.
Yeah, I said it in my EDP article a couple of weeks ago. This is the Daniel Farke time, in my opinion. This is where, the cream will rise to the top. I do. I think, Daniel Farke now has to motivate a team that arguably have nothing to be motivated for, except for themselves, to win a new contract, to play for the club next season if they've been slightly behind. It's quite a fun time to support Norwich and watch Norwich, but I do definitely think that now you will see the true Daniel Farke over the next few games. And as I said again in my post-match reaction, really looking forward to that not being that excuse of, there's loads of injuries. Because I do believe that earlier on in the season, when we did have a fully fit side, it didn't work out still. So I'm looking forward to that not being an excuse, and I'm looking forward to finishing the season on a high.
I think what fans have spoken about a lot this season, probably right in some positions, is a slight lack of depth in the squad. But the fact that we've got Leitner out injured, Tribal out injured.
It's only up front there's a lack of depth.
Yeah, I was thinking to say it probably, and as we saw with Dennis Sabreni, with Mario Vrancic, although we've criticised him this season, we've both said there's a footballer in there somewhere. We could see that key part.
Agreed.
It felt just like he didn't have the tempo for the Championship, and that's slowly coming. With Dennis Sabreni, I love him, but I don't see something in there that will mean he will score 10 goals a season. I don't think he's quick enough. I don't think he's strong enough. Although he did win a few flick-ons, which was nice to see.
Yeah.
And at times his touch was sublime. But you still look at it and go, I'm not sure what element of his game is going to get us goals.
Okay, well, I'll try to be a wee bit more subjective about it, because I do think after the game we were quite harsh on him. Having looked back at the highlights and being able to see those touches in more detail, I think that Dennis did have a decent game. It was okay, but in my opinion, maybe you shouldn't compare them, but I struggle to see how Dennis Sabreni is better than Oliveira. So if you're going to slate Oliveira saying he comes out wide, well, Dennis Sabreni went out wide.
Which suggests maybe that the
system, which we've said,
is. I mean, it's a thankless task for a. I do think though. I think Oliveira had to go out wide at times, and it still frustrated me. But I think he had to. I don't think you have to as much in this system because you've got two wide
Hernandez.
players.
And Josh is now coming out wide more because Hernandez probably is.
And I tell you what, there were a few delicious crosses put into the box going into the back
About
post
time.
that weren't met by, you would hope, your number 9 that Dennis Sabreni was filling. So I suppose that
let's give him
movement
some time.
Yeah, of course. But you do think that if we were to go into next season, because it's likely that Oliveira will leave, with Dennis Sabreni as our leading or our number 1 choice striker, we're not going to get top 6.
Let's see. No,
but he could be a potentially great squad player.
For me, I'm really, really fascinated and interested to see what. Let's see if Webber and Steve Stone put their money where their mouth is. More Webber in terms of the youth, because if you're not going to give our attacking prospects coming through a chance, you're looking at having to sign probably 3 strikers in the summer.
Yeah.
Because you're probably going to sell Nelson Oliveira on the wages that he's on. The clubs will be sniffing still, especially the promoted sides. Is Carlton Morris going to be able to step up, for example? For me, I'd love to see him in there, but if he's not, then we're going to need to sign 3 strikers.
I mean, I suppose the question to that then is, would you be happy going into the next championship season with Carlton Morris as your number 1 choice striker?
Not number 1 striker, no, but I would love to see Carlton Morris in and around that team. Certainly on the bench. I see absolutely no reason why he can't be our player, perhaps with Dennis coming off the bench.
There was a stark contrast between the first half and the second half, though, wasn't there? The first half was at times... It was refreshing. I think I turned around to you at points and went, "This is actually really fun to watch."
Yeah,
it was positive. It was driving forwards. Murphy with some great runs. Hernandez with some great runs.
It's why we go to watch the games, Jack.
Exactly.
The first half was the reason why, and I've said it before and I say it again. You don't go to football matches to watch amazing defensive displays. It bores you to tears, and it's risky because if you sit back and defend, you're more likely to concede, of course. So for me, I'm agreeing with you entirely, Jack. I think that first half was just refreshing is the right word to use.
And we've certainly given a lot of praise, but do you think there's maybe a slight bit of criticism to give in terms of the way the second half went? Because Reading were there for the taking. Admittedly, if Dennis Sabreni scores that chance at 3-2, you go and kill the game off. But it did feel a little bit pessimistic because Reading defensively were woeful. They had Tyler Blackett up front in the second half. They'd substituted their best player in Liam Kelly, and yet we're still on the verge of drawing that game. And let's not forget,
Reading were bad, weren't they?
It was an extraordinary save from Angus Gunn to mean that we went on to win that game.
By the way,
it could be a very different.
What a save!
Yeah,
what a save!
And I think he made that save, and we're kind of like, well, that's what Angus does.
Yeah.
But in actual fact, it's an
we're quite
astonishing
complacent
save.
about it as Norwich City fans. We'll go on to talk about the player of the season in a minute, but I think I think the Norwich fans have been fairly complacent because you just expect him to make these saves. It's like a meerkat in the goal, isn't it? It's incredible. Meerkat, is that the wrong animal?
I think they probably have quite quick reactions.
Meerkat?
Cats have quick reactions.
Yeah, maybe I was going down the cat route. Anyway, we move on.
But the second half was more reminiscent of what we've seen at Carrow Road this season in terms of not that many chances going forwards. It just didn't feel right.
No,
maybe I'm being a bit greedy and wanting things too quickly because the first half was great.
You are. You are.
I'll shut up then.
You are.
Now, I know this is going to be a talking point that you want to, and I'm sure a lot of other Norwich fans want to touch on. He goes by the name of Wesley Hoolahan. Substituted on, of course.
The Messiah.
Yeah. Norwich City Football Club signed shirt from 20.
God bless him.
That was a beautiful shirt, by the way, that black one.
Yeah.
I had...
We're sharing a pint, by the way, with my dad on... actually, I'm not sure if he had a pint or not, but my dad was having a pint and he joined him to watch the rugby on St Paddy's Day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he came in the pub.
That's nice. And Ireland, of course, won.
Yeah, we were laughing because... I wasn't laughing because I wasn't there, obviously. But apparently, everyone in the pub completely changed their whole, the way they were talking, what they were doing, how they were acting, because Wes walks in. Yeah. He has that impact. People
Not
don't
just
understand.
on a football pitch.
People don't, but I think it actually completely translates to the football pitch, and that's the exact reason why I've been saying since day dot this season, Wes has got to be in and around that squad.
So, I suppose this intertwines with the whole substitutions.
Too late again.
I could feel the anger flowing through into the row in front of me. And I didn't even have to look at you. You were fuming.
I said it on 66 minutes.
Why the 66th?
Because it just felt right.
Okay.
I honestly think Wes time, for Wes to be able to build momentum and pull strings, and actually, arguably, the players around him to catch up because he's so intelligent. You need to put him on earlier. There's no point bringing on Wes in the 90th minute.
I do still struggle to see where he fits in. I do.
Jack, it's not about fitting him in, and I say this to you week in, week out. No, it's not about fitting him in the starting 11. It's about having him in and around the squad.
So who do you take off then at 66 minutes when Wes time calls and your watch is beeping?
Arguably Mario.
So then who do you put in Mario's position?
We had Reedy there, didn't we?
So you'd play one central defensive midfielder. You're convinced that
I'm
will
still
work?
fine with it. I still
do you not think
we've
that
got
leaves
the
us
skill set
slightly
and the squad to do that.
exposed?
Yeah, but we need to learn to live with it. It's pathetic.
Okay.
We've got Grant Hanley. We've got mate. Our defence is good enough to cope with one central defensive midfielder in front.
Okay.
It's pessimistic, as you've highlighted, to do so. Where does Wes fit in this team? Look, it's been and done now, but all I want is for Daniel Farke and the football club, not the football club, because let's be honest, Daniel Farke picks the team. I just want Daniel Farke to respect the fact that Wes Hoolahan has been our best player of the last decade, period. Because, don't get me wrong, Holty was incredible, legend, but did it, for what, 3, 4, how long was he here for? 4, 5 seasons?
Holty. Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Wes went down with us to League One. He could have left, like Lee Croft. Where did his career go, by the way? God bless him. Long live Crofty.
Don't slag Crofty.
No, he admits it. He made a massive mistake. He's admitted it.
His career got his shirt in the TNC podcast studio. if that isn't something
Very
to dream
true.
of, then I'm not sure what is.
Look, Sammy Clingan, again, another one that went
It
down
could have
with us to
been
League
you.
One. It could have been you. He was playing for Coventry when we beat them on the final day. I remember that very well. But look,
Wasn't
my
it
point is,
2-2 that day?
Wes came down with us, and he stuck with us. And he had offers to leave, and he's just kept quiet, kept professional, and most importantly, not only has he delivered, he's over-delivered every season. And every season, the Norwich fans arguably have said, where's his, is his time gone? Connor, for example, I will call him out on this, Connor Southwell, who wrote a blooming article on it this season.
And you were not happy.
Where's his done? Which is pretty much, because he's a very polite chap, he'll argue that wasn't what he was saying, but that was what he was saying.
He's there to evoke opinion, Chris.
Wes is a legend.
Does this play into a bigger picture, and is there a slight power issue with this? Because Wes is obviously...
Absolutely.
And is there anything wrong with that?
I think Daniel Farke, first of all, it's very, very tough, and the one thing that we probably don't appreciate is he's from Germany.
Yeah.
He's from England. So, English is his second language, even though he speaks it very, very well and is great with the media. He's brought in his whole backroom team who don't have English as their first language.
Domagala, by the way, is a brilliant name.
Yeah, happy days. Yeah. If I was them, though, I certainly in my first season would have played off and utilised the experienced players and said, come on, mate, get on board. This is going to be good. I need you firing up Josh, telling him to go out wide, because sometimes on the pitch I'm not going to be heard because I've got a squeaky voice, maybe. Love his voice, by the way. I do love Daniel Farke's voice. I just think I personally would have utilised the experienced players more this season. I think Russ should have had a bigger part to play than he has this season. I think Wes is the obvious one. The only one that I think is absolutely done is Stevie Naismith. But I say that, but even him being around the team wouldn't have been the end of the world.
I suppose you do either play it one of two ways, don't you? You go down that route and really embrace the experienced players who go, look, this is a new time.
Or you just go, no.
And I do see where Farke... I love Wes to bits, and I think he's a brilliant player, but I do also sympathise with Farke and do understand that it's tough to fit.
I absolutely agree, mate, but all I'm saying is, I'm not saying he's disrespected them either, by the way, just for the record. I'm just saying that I would have utilised them more this season.
We're going to bring back Moan and Hype of the Week.
Are we? Well, it's been a while, isn't it?
It has been a while.
Why have we dropped that? That was quite a good little thing,
I think
actually.
just because we've got so much informative stuff to fill this podcast with. It
So
just
much
didn't
dribble.
fit in.
Okay.
What's your Hype of the Week?
Hype of the week. Okay. Hype of the week. Well, I've already praised Mario. I can't praise Mario too much. I'm going to say Hype of the week this week is Hernandez.
Oh, nice. A little Cuban maestro.
I'm really, really excited by him. I think everything that he gives is what we've lacked since we've lost Redmond.
Or arguably Yannick Vilskut.
Since we've lost Redmond. I think he's a bulldozer. I think he's a beast. Technically, he is from. No, he's not from the east.
Just hold the Atlas a different way around.
Yeah, absolutely fine. He's our beast from the east now.
Since he come, the weather has got considerably colder.
Since he come,
so maybe he.
Since he come, I'm not going to let you get away with that. That was Ruignarthuk.
That was Ruignarthuk.
Since he come,
bloody dual carriageways in the A47, boy.
Very good player.
Yeah,
just
very
looks
good.
like he's hit
Direct.
the ground running. Direct, exactly, Jack. And that's what we haven't done this season enough. Why haven't we been more direct? Maybe we haven't had Hernandez. Well, obviously we haven't.
No, we haven't.
That's the reason why.
Very
good
small
player.
as well. Quite like a pacey.
No, small height-wise, but thick.
Good girth on him. My hype of the
I
week.
can't believe you've dropped girth there, by the way.
Well, it's a factually correct.
Apologies to all the parents that watch this.
Word to use. My hype of the week: Tim Closer.
Okay.
Using his nose to block a very venomous shot.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Well, you know
when
what?
he just stuck his face in the way.
Yeah, but actually, if
beautiful.
I was Timmy Close, I would be doing that to kind of push it the other way.
Yeah.
It's a good shout.
Yeah, and why not?
By the way, Timmy Close,
Complete
thoughts?
mentalist.
No, but honestly, although he scored against Ipswich, give me your thoughts last few games, performance-wise.
He's forgotten to pass.
Yes.
That doesn't help when you're a footballer. That's certainly one of the key characteristics to making a good footballer.
That for me is what I've noticed.
Yeah. When we signed him, one of his main selling points was
he could pass out
he
from
could
the back.
pass the ball. And now he's just completely lost it. But when you've got Grant Hanley next to you...
But I think that's it. Could you imagine this carnage if Grant Hanley wasn't playing next to him?
I bloody love that centre-back partnership.
I don't. I love Grant Hanley, but I don't
Do you
love
not
that
like
partnership.
Tim Close?
No, I like him because he's a nutter and he's cool and he's got great social media. But for me, I just think it's getting a bit kind of expensive luxury.
I think he's
Come
still
on,
a very
mate.
good defender.
Come on, mate. Let's be honest.
No,
here.
I think he is a very good defender.
No, I think he's a good defender, but I think he's forgotten how to be a very good defender in the last 4 or 5 matches. Even against Ipswich, his passing was woeful, and his clearances as well.
But I suppose passing isn't...
Anyway, the proof will be in the pudding, mate.
Anyway.
Because unfortunately, I highly, highly doubt the club will be able to afford to keep him. So he'll be off.
Oh, I doubt that. I think he might stay.
Mate, he's one of the highest earners at the club by a million miles.
I'll chip him for his wages. Any
Bombs.
player that is
Canary's
willing
bombed.
to throw their face in front of a shot gets my respect.
He gets my
By
respect.
the way, as
but-
well, the referee at the weekend,
Yeah?
woeful. You know that challenge on Tim Close in the 10th second?
Oh.
Didn't even get booked for it.
No, but yeah. Why aren't refs
It's a
getting their...
disgraceful challenge.
Why are they not getting the cards out of the pocket quick enough? Take control of the game.
Yeah.
It's pathetic. I've had enough of it. No, honestly.
No, I can tell.
Seriously,
No,
you
I know.
fired me up. It's true.
Yeah, and the linesman as well.
Oh, my God. The standard of refereeing is so poor in this country.
In this league.
In this country.
I think the Premier League's alright sometimes.
Is it?
Yeah, sometimes.
Disagree.
And
Anyway.
Moan of the week.
Well, there you go. That was a moan. Can you have that?
The referee.
Well, that was yours. The ref.
No, I'll let you have that one. The ref, or was that
Well, I
mine?
don't want it because that was yours.
You don't want it? What's yours then?
My moan of the week is... I don't really... I'm feeling quite good.
Mate, you've got to have a moan.
No,
We're
God,
from
I'm
Norfolk.
feeling quite good. I'm honestly
Just because
feeling
we've
good.
suddenly beat, the turgid Reading 3-2
Yeah.
doesn't mean...
By the way, do you
suddenly...
think they're going to go down?
Yes, I hope they do. No, I hope they do. I hope they do. Because I
Jack,
don't
for
want...
you, that's strong.
I don't want Barnsley to go down. I really like Barnsley as a club. And Reading, they're a bit soulless. They're a bit MK Donzy.
Have you had too much Chris Reeve juice today?
I think you've put a bit of... Oh, Jesus. I think you've put a bit of something in this. No, I just...
You're not feeling
I'm
it?
not going to miss them, put it that way.
No, neither am I.
And they were bad at the weekend.
They're a club where, if they went into administration, you just wouldn't care.
Yeah. Something like that.
Did I just take it a wee bit too far?
My moan of the week's Reading.
By the way, hilarious. How many fans did they bring?
Yeah, it was poor, wasn't it?
And there was like 2 people singing from their end.
And they're in a relegation fight. You would think they'd be up for it.
And by the way, it's close. But no, I'm
Just to think
trying
that-
to be. I'm trying to be polite about Reading Football Club, but at the same time, I'm really struggling.
Yeah.
Because that is like one of the closest away days for them, and
Yeah.
they literally brought about 2 fans.
I think I think that is our closest. Oh no, of course, if
QPR?
excluding Ipswich,
QPR?
is it Q? It's either QPR or Reading.
QPR, which I'm going to. You're not. Anyway,
Yes.
so I've not got mine. I refuse.
Mine's Reading.
Okay.
Okay, I did also want to introduce a new section to the podcast that might only last a week because I'm sure I'll forget to add it in next week. Story of the week. Now, this is a story that comes from elsewhere in the country but has links to Norwich.
Okay, yeah.
Now, this story is a beautiful
I like this,
This
Jack.
really is.
You
Now,
haven't told me about this. Oh, no, I've just read it.
have you seen it?
Oh, God. Oh.
What? No, it's a good story.
As soon as I saw GY.
So, Luke Hannon, born in the lovely coastal town of Great Yarmouth, still, I think, one of the finest coastal towns in England. By the way, Holcombe Beach rated the best beach in in Britain.
Where's Holcombe?
North Norfolk.
Is it in Great Yarmouth?
It's near. Same county.
No, it isn't.
So, Luke Hannon,
Born
in Great Yarmouth.
Do you want to know a fact about Luke Hannon? Before you even start.
No. Do I?
Yeah?
Go on then.
So Luke Hannon went out with a very, very good friend of mine
Oh,
in high
really?
school. Yeah.
Nice.
No one cares.
No.
Literally no one cares about the story.
Went
Jack.
through the Norwich... No, I think they do. Went through the Norwich City Academy
Right.
and was released when Glenn Roeder was manager of Norwich City.
Well, that's not... How many other people have gone through the Norwich City Academy?
So he pretty much gives up football.
Yeah.
Goes to...
He didn't give up football.
Well, pretty much. Went to... Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story here, Chris. Went to uni up north, got scouted for Gateshead. Decent standard, you think. He's probably hit the peak now. Gateshead's manager goes to Port Vale. Port Vale signed Luke Hannon. He scores his first goal for League Two Port Vale against Stevenage Town to get Stevenage manager sacked, Darren Sarl. Who's Darren Sarl's assistant manager? Glenn Roeder.
Wow.
Got him sacked.
Oh, no. To be fair.
Now that is a good story.
Clap
Clap it up.
No,
clap it up.
Well, credit where credit's
Yeah.
due. That was... You know what you did there?
Yeah.
It was a real cool story draft moment.
Yeah.
And it got worse and worse and worse. And then all of a sudden, boom.
No, I know. You didn't expect that, did you?
Credit where credit's due.
So he's
I
gone
thought
full
that was
circle.
a nothing story, but that was really cool.
Yeah. And I tell you what,
I really like that.
if you see the pictures, I doubt many of you were watching Port Vale at the weekend, but you
No
could
one
hardly
was.
see the pitch through snow. They were
Yeah.
playing with a white ball, which didn't help. Port Vale playing white, which certainly doesn't help. So
Yeah.
You pretty much couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
And it was a stunning strike with the left foot into
Was
the top
it?
corner.
Great.
So Luke Hannon, well done for getting Glenn Roeder sacked.
Yeah, well done.
Player of the season. The Falcon Cranes Player of the Season.
So, hang on. Jack.
That's how they advertise it. I know it's the Barry Butler Trophy.
No, Jack, you've got
But they advertised it as the Falcon Cranes Player of the Season.
Well, you've got to be careful, Jack. Do you know why?
Oh, yeah.
Because I now might go and buy a crane.
Well,
No,
it's
honestly,
true.
No,
it's true.
No, seriously, I mean, you think about all the Norwich fans that are now going to buy a crane. I'm really worried about the fact that you've just said that.
And if you go above, I think it's a 3-foot platform in a workplace, you need to fill in a health and safety.
You know, you've
form.
got to be careful with cranes. These sponsorship deals are getting out of hand now, aren't they?
They are.
Really are.
Yeah, no, they are, I
Horrendous.
agree.
Shocking.
But cranes are a useful tool.
We're not talking about cranes. Player of the season.
Yeah.
Player of the season. Hit me. Go.
Grant Hanley,
You start.
he got my vote.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what I've gone for is I'm gonna vote for Angus Gunn.
Okay.
Number one, don't care saying it. He's my buddy. Number two, I think Maddison is obviously going to get it, and he deserves it. By the way, just to put it out there,
Yeah.
he absolutely deserves it. He will win it, but I'm going to vote for Angus because I think he deserves to be second place.
Okay.
Interesting.
Interesting.
And
Okay.
I'd be extremely disappointed for Angus not to get second place. Let's not forget that without Angus, we'd arguably be in even more trouble. The defence, I mean, he's kept us alive in so many games. Let's not forget that the string of games, away games against the top teams.
Oh, that
where
save
Angus
against
made
Bristol.
incredible saves.
That was
Sometimes in the last minute.
Yeah.
You know, just the way he's carried himself, the way he feels like he's almost just because he is from Norwich, of course. But it doesn't feel like a lone signer. He's given everything to it. He's panted the badge. He's signed the autographs. He's had the pictures. Those things are expected of a footballer, but his attitude has been perfect from day dot. But I think at the moment he's 5th or 6th in the league in terms of clean sheets out of all of the goalkeepers. So that to me says if our forward line had been better this season, we would have been in the playoffs.
Well,
so Angus he's done all that he can, and for me, he's going to get my vote because I hope he goes second.
Do you think there's any other sort of left field players you could throw in there? Maybe a Christoph Zimmermann even.
Perhaps. I think you've got. I think so. Let's do the order now because you know how it's going to be. It's going to be Maddison, 1,000,000% is going to win it and deserves to win it.
Carlo Nash,
second place. I really hope Angus comes second.
Yeah,
but he might not. I don't know who would be second above Angus, by the way.
Hanley maybe.
But
I think it would be Angus. I think it would.
I hope it's going to be Angus. Okay, so it's going to be Angus. I think for third place, you're looking at Hanley, aren't you?
Or a Zimmerman.
Or Tribal.
Or a Tribal.
No, I think Tribal's got a really decent shot.
But I think because the voting's come out at a time when Tribal isn't playing, maybe people have forgotten about him a little bit.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Hopefully Norwich fans got their heads screwed on.
So hopefully Maddison.
Yeah.
By the way, do you reckon he's had to buy
a
a bigger house just for his individual achievements this season?
Quite possibly.
He's literally won everything.
I can imagine he has his own kind of shrine like we do here. Anyway.
Twitter questions. Let's do it.
Go on.
So we tweeted out and said, give us some questions. And oh, by the way, great tweet, the Gary Doherty against Bolton Rovers.
I just love Doc. I can't help but tweet things like that when it's about Doherty.
Elliot Waterfield jumping in on the Maddison, on the Player of the Season conversation. He said, is there any point even holding the Player of the Season vote? Surely it's going to be Maddison, Gunn, Hanley.
That actually does remind me about the Carlo Nash thing under Houghton.
Elliot, I think you're forgetting about the Falcon Cranes. We need to advertise these. They've clearly paid top dollar for this. So
we might all end up buying cranes, which is really bad.
Indeed. Who do you think will go down in the Championship, says Rory Ives? Well, first of all, Sunderland. They're in a sorry state. A sorry state. I saw.
If I was a Sunderland fan, by the way, they still. I feel like they've only won one game at home in like the last 2 seasons.
Something like that. I saw a fan report on a website called the Roker Report, which is really good, and they described John O'Shea as a lame racehorse that needs to retire.
Wow.
Yeah, and he got a 0 out of 10 rating. I think they described Lee Catamole. They gave him a 1 out of 10.
Lee Catamole's like their Lionheart, though, isn't he?
Apparently he's terrible now.
He still tucks his shirt in, doesn't he? And pulls it up.
So, yeah.
Yeah, looks like a right clown.
He's very small as well.
I feel... Okay, what I will say is I do feel sorry for Sunderland now because going down to League One hurts, like, by the way.
And they're in a...
It really does.
They're not in a good way.
But what I will say is, my God, they hung around with the Premier League for too long.
Yeah,
they were so lucky to stay in that league, and but what I will say is, for a big club like Sunderland, it's an absolute embarrassment, and I feel really, really sorry for those Sunderland fans going down to League One now. And
they're not down yet, but it looks like they will.
Jack, they're down.
Okay,
they're absolutely done.
So that's.
I don't think Reading will go down. As
much
as we want them
they
to.
look really dodgy.
They're so bad.
Let's have a quick look at the table and remind ourselves who is down at the bottom.
But they've got Jaap Stam as gaffer, and I just don't.
I don't think he'll be there. He didn't do the interview after the game, and they were booing him, weren't they? It was very Ipswich-esque. You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the tables.
You can't abuse Ipswich, Jack.
Why?
That's against the rules.
It is,
That's really unfair.
Okay, so the bottom 3 is currently Sunderland. They're currently 5 points adrift. Burton
down.
Who are 3 points adrift.
Oh, by the way, as much as people love Burton, Tin Pot down, and I hope they go down as well.
Then it's Birmingham.
Birmingham.
I don't want to lose them.
By the way, Birmingham are doing Birmingham things right now.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, they won at the weekend though.
The Monk effect.
Yeah, indeed.
Birmingham. They're doing what Birmingham do best.
Then it's Barnsley, who I don't want to see go because I do like Barnsley away.
I think you'll see Barnsley.
What go?
I think you'll see
Sunderland, Burton,
and Barnsley.
By the way, in the last 2 seasons, we've only beaten Burton once.
Yeah, and that's why I want them to go down, because we can't beat them.
So Sunderland are down, Burton are down. I think Reading.
We want Reading to go down.
I think Reading. No, I do honestly think Reading.
I didn't realise you had such a burning hatred.
No,
for
I don't.
Reading,
I just think
do.
Barnsley and Birmingham.
Do.
No, I
you
don't.
do.
I don't.
You hate Reading like I hate Leeds.
Ethan Jones.
Hello, Ethan.
If you had to pick out of James Maddison or Carrow Road's sausage rolls, which one would you have? The sausage rolls are good.
What am I? In
Essentially,
what context?
you're losing one. What one would you prefer to lose?
Absolutely the sausage roll.
They are good though, and
James Maddison Messiah.
I suppose the argument is you can get good sausage rolls elsewhere. Morrison's are on the doorstep.
I think if you
They've
keep
gone
Maddison,
downhill,
Madison buys you a sausage roll anyway.
though. Okay.
Move on. Next question.
Okay. Bristol Rovers poll, by the way, once again, love them.
Here they are.
How are Bristol Rovers getting on this season, by the way? I don't know. Let
Who
us know in the
cares?
comment section below. Who's going down from the Premier League? By the way, loving the podcasts. Cheers.
Oh, that's nice.
West Brom are down. That's a
Yeah.
great away day, West Brom. Looking forward to that next season.
Yeah. We love a West Brom away,
Yeah,
don't we?
always win at West
We
Brom
love
as
West
well.
Brom.
We always win
Fun
there.
fact for you: West Brom has been the ground that I've been to most.
Same.
In Ipswich.
Same.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've been-
Interesting. And Villa joined with West Brom
I've
as
been
well.
to the Hawthorns 5 times and I've never seen us lose there.
Jens Berthelascu. That's all I'm saying. Premier League. I don't really. The one thing that
West Brom, Stoke, and
Stoke.
yeah,
Lambert. No.
Yeah. Stoke and West Ham.
You think Stoke have left it too late? West Ham, mate. No. That'd be so bad if they go down.
But even if
Honestly, could you
Is
imagine
Southampton
the
are down there?
scenes? I don't want them to go down purely for the safety of the families.
the safety
that-
of London,
The safety of London.
Yeah.
But the safety of the families that are going to the. That
It's
are going.
pretty
I'm
horrid
not, mate.
though,
That's
isn't
not
it?
even banter.
No, I know.
I'm being serious. Like it's getting to the point now where I'm looking at it. and I'm going. I hope West Ham survive, just because it's just. But maybe West Ham fans will actually be thinking, well, we want rid of the ownership, so maybe that'll be the only way that they sell up.
possibly.
Maybe, I don't know.
But it is sad, isn't it? There's so many clubs being run poorly, and I suppose it shows how lucky we are to
Yeah,
have.
a great shout. Yeah,
Indeed, yeah.
brilliant shout.
But I think the interesting thing with the three coming down from the Premier League, it's very likely to be three well-established Premier League teams. West
Yeah.
Brom being there for a decade.
yeah.
Same with Stoke. Whether it be Southampton or West Ham.
Oh, Southampton. No, they're going. Southampton
They're going
back,
down.
back down to Championship. mate.
Unbelievable. They were
Yeah.
knocking on the Champions League doors a few years ago. And through the back door as well. Peter Hunter. Can we just talk about how good Hernandez has been?
Yeah.
Not sure he's
Yeah.
got a lot of credit.
Well, we have given him just a ton of credit there, haven't we?
Yeah.
We love him. We love him. He's a beast.
Peter Hunter as well. I saw a tweet from him. We love Peter. I tweeted at the weekend, it's cold. It's a mid-table
Yeah.
clash. What do we have to play for?
Yeah.
And he said, well, don't you care about finishing above Ipswich? And
Oh.
I kind of sat there and thought,
I'm so
no,
with
I
him.
don't.
I'm so with him. No.
I don't really care.
I'm opposite. Peter, I'm with you. I care. Oh God, I can't say that. You all know what I want to say now, but I can't say it just because it just in case it gets clipped up by an Ipswich fan. But all I'm saying is I'm with Peter on that.
Okay. It's just like...
No, I'm
fussed.
yeah.
Tom Brown, do you think Remy Matthews will be given a chance at Norwich City next season?
Yeah.
Or can we, Plymouth Argyle, have him back at home park? He's been doing a brilliant job so far.
No, you can bugger off Plymouth Argyle.
We'll have him.
Because he's ours next
Do
season.
you know where he's born?
For God's sake.
I'm just saying.
Some
brilliant footballers can't
If
be
I
on
did
them.
this for Norwich, it would be boring.
Yeah, but that's because Norwich already has a good reputation. Yarmouth gets such an unfair rep. No, it does.
Jack.
It does.
You don't even live in Yarmouth. That's the hilarious
I
thing.
do.
No, you don't.
What do you mean I don't live in
Well,
Yarmouth?
you kind of live in like the nice, like it's kind of
Is
like
it Yarmouth?
Yeah, it's Yarmouth.
Exactly. D-Jam, James, is there any player in League 1 or 2 who's caught your eye this year? Ben Godfrey.
Yeah.
Jack Marriott at Peterborough, 24 goals this
Is
season.
Remy Matthews in League One?
Yeah.
Remy Matthews.
Jack Marriott, by the way,
Watched-
great hair,
what-
24 goals this season for Peterborough, taking Steve Evans' men into playoff glory.
Cool.
Also, a non-footballing question, favourite film and also song.
Have we had this before?
Yeah, we have. I don't really watch that many films.
Okay, you go for your film.
I tell you what, I've watched all the James Bonds. I used to love James Bond on VHS when I
I
was a
love
kid.
a Bond. I love a
Yeah.
Bond as well.
What's your favourite Bond? We'll change the question. Mine's
Casino Royale for me.
oh really, quite a new one.
Yeah, I love Casino Royale.
I really
Purely
like
because
Goldfinger.
It reminds me of me in the casino.
Okay.
Yeah,
I love Goldfinger.
I'm sure you do love a Goldfinger.
Yeah. Tom Cash.
Oh, Cashy.
Cashy boy. He's a good
Favourite
boy.
movie, by the way, just for the record, Gladiator. Love it.
Oh, yeah, you've said that before, haven't you? I quite like Social Network. That's a good film. You'd probably enjoy that. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
The Making of Facebook?
Yeah.
Apparently not that factually correct, but who cares? What happens next year if we don't progress any further than mid-table? Do you turn on Farke for poor management, or do you turn on Delia for the lack of investment and say Farke did his best with average players? Well, Tom Cash once again coming back with a storming question.
As always.
And his bio is, Jack Reeve will probably read this because he loves bios. Cashy boy.
As if he's actually just put that.
He's a good old boy.
I've got so much time for Cashy
You know what?
in his prom suit.
I'll follow him.
Oh!
There you go, Cashy.
Boom.
My man. My man.
And this is what happens when you tweet questions in.
Yeah.
The Jack Reeve TNC follows you on Twitter. What's the question?
What happens next year if we don't progress any further? At this point next season, we're 14th
At this,
place.
at this
What
point
are you
next
feeling?
season, I'm saying we need to change the head coach. If we're in
Really?
this point, if we're at this point next season and we haven't progressed as a football club, yeah, I do think it is the right time. I do, because he's had a whole summer to settle in. He's had a whole summer of transfers. He's been able to get rid of the players that he doesn't want to get rid of. He's been able to get rid of the high earners at the football club. He's been able to have more time to influence more players to come that's in his style and his system. Look, by the way, I'm not anti-Farke.
No.
I really want it to work for him. I love the man. I think he's class, and he's. I love him. I do love him. But that for me is when I would be ringing alarm bells.
When does the Delia argument come in?
I think the only time that the Delia argument could ever come in for me is if we were, say, on the verge of relegation from the Championship. Because
Should
at the
we
moment,
not be aiming
because at the
higher than
moment
that?
we are technically still in that transitional loop, bucket, whatever you want to call it, and until we're out of that, I find it hard to justify an argument for wanting Delia out. And again, to compliment the Canaries' bond, Webber is doing something about it.
Okay.
Let's forget about Delia isn't going, and Delia, as you've just said about the ownership of some football clubs, let's be thankful for how good we've got it.
Andy, how long do we give Big D?
Oh God, so many innuendos there, isn't there? I think it's a toughie. Oh God,
Very much so.
oh God.
I mean, it is a hard one, isn't it?
Oh, Jesus, Jack, it's too late for this. I think we give.
I mean, should we get behind him?
Oh God, he is standing out a little bit at the moment, isn't he?
I mean, you've got to take
Jack,
the good with the
come
bad,
on,
haven't you?
This is a podcast.
Yeah,
Come on.
all right.
Big D, I think we give him until halfway through next season to show something.
I think we let him play for the rest of this season
Just something.
as a lone striker, because I think Nelson will be gone in the summer. So let's see what he does. If he's any good, he might score goals next season. If he's not any good, he's a good third choice striker.
Yeah.
I just think for banter purposes, just give him.
He's very
the
young, by the
season.
way, isn't he? Just to put it out there.
Yeah, was he like 23?
He's young.
He
So he's
looks
got
a
some
bit
time.
like Madison.
He looks like an older Madison.
Yeah,
We
he
say
does.
this every single podcast.
Yeah, me too. Smibbo. Why is Christoph Zimmerman being overlooked for player of the season? He's a tank and a trooper.
Agreed. Christoph Zimmerman has been brilliant this season. When he's been in that side, it's looked stronger. For me, the best centre-back pairing would be Hanley and Zimmerman.
Let's not forget the meteoric rise he's seen as well from last season.
The what, sorry?
Meteoric. Lots. Big.
Oh, right.
Big rise.
Nice
Much like
word.
Big D. Tommy Sadler, looking to the future, as Tommy does best.
Like that little headline.
If we get promoted next season, wow, he really is looking to the future.
Jeez.
If we're to get promoted next season,
How far into the future is
who
that?
from our current squad do you think we'll still have? Also, I thought Dennis Sabrani was good against Reading, won a lot in the air and did some great flicks and touches which has been lacking from Nelson?
I'm just going to agree with that question. It's a good question.
I can't actually remember what he said. Oh, what players would be good enough for the Premier League? Angus, Maddison.
But neither of them are going to be here.
No. Hanley.
Hanley is good enough for the Premier League.
Play him on his own.
We all dream of a team of Grant
We
Hanleys.
do.
A team of Grant
Chris.
Hanleys.
It's that time of the week. It's that time of the week. As our clap come around the TNC studio. I'm also getting a bit of tinnitus in this ear as well.
Yeah.
It's ringing. After the cold of Saturday's game, which 3 players, present or past, would you want to be stranded on a desert island with? Also, are there any ex-players
What an incredible
you
question.
banned from getting on the island?
What an incredible...
Oh! Is that the same? Oh, by the way...
No. Have you seen his content this week? Willemot's content?
Yeah.
Oh, it's been absolutely on point. There's been videos.
Have you seen his wife's car?
I mean, have you just seen it? He's clearly...
He's repping the Range Rover Evoque.
I think he needs to probably be the main sponsor on TNC next season.
I mean, I would happily, as well as ride on Willemot's lawnmower, go for a ride in his wife's car. I really would.
Be careful.
Yeah. And it's good to see that his assistant Chris, it was his first time on the roller. And he's getting the hang of it.
This is what I saw. I've got so much interest in this. I mean, the way that he's rolling that 7mm.
This is a 7mm cut.
That's a 7mm cut there, quite clearly. Yeah. Doing so well. I love the game there.
And of course, the daily life of contract groundsman, and rain or sun, weeds will always outgrow grass. What 3 players would you take to a desert island?
For me, Dion Dublin is my favourite Norwich player ever, and I think he's funny, and he'd be able to play the tube. So
and find you an affordable home.
He'd be able to find me an affordable home. And I think just generally he's a very positive, upbeat guy. And I think that
the Jube, by the way.
He would...
I love the Jube.
Yeah, I love the Jube. I thought you were about to disrespect it then.
Goodness gracious, no.
He's the kind of guy where if you're under attack by an animal, he'd put himself in front of it. Like, he is just an absolute
what would
legend.
he put in front of it?
Oh God! Oh Lordy! Anyway,
of course, his hammer from Homes Under the Hammer.
Another guy I'd have on the desert island with me is Big G.
Yeah, he's going, isn't he?
I mean,
he's on the plane.
Gunny is so there. Brian Gunn, by the way, not Angus. He's not on the island. Just because he is
legend.
In my top 3 nicest guys in the world.
Oh, really?
In the whole world.
Wow.
Honestly, genuine.
Who
Seriously.
else is in it? Or can that not be disclosed?
Mystic Manson,
yeah.
And you.
And me?
Yeah, I'd say you.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's at the top?
Don't know. Haven't decided yet.
Okay, I'll give you a week to think about that one.
Thank you. Last player, I'll say a present one. Okay. I think a really handy person to have is Zimmerman. I think he'd do all the work.
Right.
Absolutely all of it. To the point where you would literally just it'd be me, Big G, and Big D.
Wow.
The original Big G.
Wow.
The original Big D.
Quite literally. In every sense of the phrase.
God, is that allowed to be said, Jack?
What?
Anyway, so
what are you inferring?
I'm on the beach with Big G and Big D, the original Big D, and we're having some cocktails. And Zimmerman is making the fire, catching the fish. Who will I ban from the island?
Yeah.
Kyle Lafferty.
Oh, why?
Yeah, he would just be the kind of guy that would just piss on the fire, quite literally. He'd be the kind of guy that instead of writing SOS for the boat to come and save it, he'd just draw a giant penis in the sand, wouldn't he? He would, wouldn't he? Admit he would do that.
Yeah.
Go on. Who's your picks?
Right, my picks. Number 1, Mark Tierney. Mainly because now he's retired, I feel like...
You need to get over Mark Tierney.
Why?
What did he do for this football club apart from do cartwheels and wave a flag?
Well, he'd done cartwheels when the floodlights went out.
And he waved.
I mean, if that doesn't warrant a Nobel Peace Prize, I'm not sure what does.
Why do you love him so much?
Because he was one of our best left backs.
Oh, Jack, please stop this. Is it like a piss takey? I love him. Like, for example, Gary
Sort
Doherty.
Yeah, sort of.
Like Gary, yeah.
I liked him though, and I think this was. I tell you what, I'd love to get him on the podcast.
Well, I wouldn't. After I've just said that, he'd kill me.
Well, yeah, maybe it should just be me and
Didn't
him.
he have a fight with Steve Morrison over something?
I think that's more of a rumour.
Anyway.
Tierney's there. Who else is coming? Wes is coming.
Is he?
Yeah.
But you don't like Wesley Lamb.
I love Wesley Lamb.
You said that. No, hang on.
No, actually, Wes isn't coming.
Hang on. So you struggled to fit him in the Norwich team, but you can't. But you'd fit him on your desert
I'd
island.
fit him on a desert island, yeah. So Tierney's coming.
He's a really bad shout.
Tim Close is coming.
What?
100%. That man has everything. He's got a wonky nose. He's very funny. He could document it all on Instagram stories.
True.
I think that'll be nice
That's
to look
valuable.
back on.
But you're head of content, so
No, I'll let him be head of content.
okay.
I'll be his assistant.
Okay.
And I think he's just a really nice guy.
Who are you banning? Who are you not taking?
Well, I haven't picked my third choice yet.
You've just said Wes.
Remy Matthews is coming. No, Wes isn't coming.
Oh, okay.
Mark Tierney, Tim Close, and Remy Matthews.
Don't say because he's from Great Yarmouth.
Well, yeah, he knows how to live in a hostile
shithole.
environment. He knows how to live in a hostile environment. I was trying to put it politely. Who am I banning? I don't really know.
Go on, there's got to be one. Or what about a manager, Norwich manager,
No,
former Norwich
can't
manager,
pick a player.
or a dodgy player? Michael Theoklitos.
No,
He would let the fish slip through the net,
his
wouldn't he?
hands, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll ban him. Bit harsh, but you know, not
Bit harsh. He had to change his name. He was so bad.
Well, I'm not.
Do you realise? Right. By the way,
I'm not sure if he dropped the fish.
No,
but-
fun fact. Michael Theoklitos now goes by the name of
Theo
Michael.
what?
He now goes by the name of Michael Theo because of the fact that. Well, it's not because of the fact of that, but
Michael Theo.
He's now not called Michael Theoklitos. He's changed his name
Wow.
because I think he was so scarred by that game. But if you search it now, it just won't come up with anything. You know, it'll just come up with Norwich, but not his. So basically, all the people in Australia still think he's a legend because he's Michael Theo.
Wow.
That was just complete fluff. Hit me.
I think that's it. I think we're out.
Posters left to sell.
Yeah, we've got a few posters. I was going to put that in at the end. Thanks very much for watching.
Ipswich fans love the posters.
I tell you what, that was the best piece of free advertising I've ever had.
Yeah, cheers.
They've done us a big favour there. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe on iTunes.
Like the video.
Any last words? Because we've now got 2 weeks of that Norwich game.
I'll say what I always say. You ready for it?
What do you always say?
James Maddison, believe the hype.
I think people are believing the hype. Is he still better than Jack Wilshere? Thanks very much for watching, and see you later. Bye-bye.